Hello everyone. Today's lesson is talking about how to measure the volume of rectangular prisms. Okay, open your book on page 681. Let's start our lesson. We have here in the first problem, we have the area of this base. This base is about rectangle. As we started before, all faces of rectangular prism are rectangle. So if we want to get the base or the area of the base, we have to multiply the width and the length of this base, or we can count the cubic units of this. So we have here how many cubic units in this area. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have here 12 square units. Because we are measuring here area, so we are going to use square units. If you are going to measure the area, so you have to use square units. Okay, let's have this problem. We have here in this figure, we want to use 1 inch cubes. So the length equal width and equal height equal 1 inch. As we started before, that's called cube unit or unit cube. Okay, so the prism has a base that is a rectangle and has a height of 4 cubes. What is the volume of rectangular prism that Yom built? So firstly, you have to get the area or the volume of one layer. Okay, this layer, the first layer, equal what? We have, firstly, we have how many cubic units in each layer. Firstly, count the first layer in the top, in the bottom, which is the first layer, which is called the base. So we have here how many cubic units in this one. As we said before, all layers are congruent to each other, so it has the same number of cubic units, the same number of length and width and height. So the first unit or the first layer, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have here the first row 4 cubic units, and the second one is also 4, and the third one another 4 unit cubes. So we have here 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. So the first layer of rectangular prism equal 12 inch cubes. Okay, so if you want to get the volume of whole prism, you have to add the number of cubic units in each layer. So if we have one layer, just one layer equals 12 cubic units. If we put 2 layers above each other, so we have 12. So we are going to multiply the number of layers by 12 to get the volume of all rectangular prism. Okay, so we have here 3 multiplied by 12 equals 36, and finally we have 4 multiplied by 12 equal 48, because we have here this rectangular prism consists of 4 layers. Each layer equal 12 cubic units. So if we add them together, so we get 48 in total. Okay, so we have some questions here. How does the volume change as each layer is added? The volume changes or increases by the number of cubic units in each layer, which is 12. So every time we add 12 to get the total number of unit cubes in whole rectangular prism. Okay, what does the number you multiply the height by represent? The area of the base shape or the number of cubes in each layer, which is 12. Okay, so the volume of Young's rectangular prism is 48 cubic inches. That means cubic inches because we are going to measure here the volume, so we are going to use cubic. If we want to get the square, the area, so you have to use square inches. Okay, let's move to the next page. So firstly, you have to count one layer equal how many cubic units, and then multiply by the number of layers of the rectangular prism. Okay, firstly we have here what are the dimensions of the base of the box. So we have here this box, and we want to get the dimensions of the base. So we have this about the base. We have here how many, that's the width. So we have the width here equal 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 units or 4 centimeters as width, and we have the length here is about this, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have the length here is 6 centimeters. Okay, and so how can we get the number of cubes in one layers? Unit cubes. We are talking here about unit cubes. So you can count all the unit cubes in this layer, which is base, or we can multiply length by width to get the base area. Okay, so the volume of each bed equal 1 centimeter cube, which is cubic unit. And the storage box has a base width and area of 24 centimeter cube, because we have in one layer equal 24, because 4 multiplied by 6 equals 24. The height of the storage box is 6 centimeter, because the height here, let's count the number of unit cubes here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have the height here equals 6 centimeter. So we have length, width, height. As we started before, if you want to get the volume of any solid figure, you have to multiply the 3 dimensions, which is width, length, and height. Okay, so the volume of storage box is 24, which is base area, multiplied by the height, which is 6, equal 144 cubic centimeter. Okay, so we have a very important formula to get the volume of rectangular prism. We have 2 forms of our formula here. Okay, the first formula, we are going to use the base area of the first layer, which is the base. The first layer here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have the length here equal 6. And what about the width here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 as width. So these are dimensions of base. If we want to get the area of the base, you have to multiply length by width to get the area, which is 24 square units, because 6 multiplied by 4 equal 24. Okay, after that, after you get the base area, if you want to get the volume of whole rectangle prism, you have to multiply this base area multiplied by height. But we don't have height here. We have here length and width. If you want to get the height, you have to count the number of cubic units in this height. So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have the height here equals 8. So if you want to get the volume at in this rectangular prism, you have to multiply the base area by height. So volume equal base area, we get it here, it will be 24 multiplied by 8. 4 multiplied by 8 equal 32, 2 and carry 3, 2 multiplied by 8 equal 16, and 3 it will be 19 cubic units. Okay, after that, if you want to get the volume directly with the second formula, it's the same answer but with different formula. Okay, so we have the volume here equal length times width times height. We have length equal 6, width equal 4, and height equal 8. So multiply it directly. 6 by 4 by 8. We are going to get the same answer, which is 192 cubic units. So we have two ways to get the volume. We have the first formula, which is base area times height, or the second formula, which is length times width times height. Okay, let's take some examples on it. There's the second way. We have the length equals 6 and width equal 4 and the height equals 6. So we're going to multiply 6 by 4 to get the base area and multiply them by 6, or 24 multiplied by 6 equal 124. So the volume of storage box equal 144. Okay, let's move to the next page. Okay, let's look to this rectangular prism. We have here, this is length and this is width, and the third dimension, which is height. And we have the numbers here. So answer this question complete. We have here the length of the rectangle prism. The length equal what? Equals 4, as we see here. The width is 5 inches, as we see here. And so the area of the base, if you want to get the area of the base, as we started before, you have to multiply the length and width by each other to get the area of the base. So 4 multiplied by 5 equals 20. So again, if you want to get the area of the base, you have to multiply length and width to get the area of the base. Okay, and then find the height. We have height here is 6 inches. So the volume is, how can we get the volume? We have the base area, which is denoted by B, and we have the height, which is 6. So if you want to get the volume, base area times height to get 120 cubic inches. Okay, if you want to get it directly, you can multiply 4 length times width times height directly. So we have here 4 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 6. We are going to have the same answer, which is 120. Okay, the next one, we have here number 2 as length, 3 as width, and 3 here as height. If you want to get the volume of this rectangular prism, you can use directly this formula: length multiplied by width multiplied by height equals length equal 2 multiplied by 3, which is width, multiplied by 3. You have to write the steps with me, okay, to memorize how to solve it. 2 multiplied by 3 equals 6, multiplied by 3 equals 18 cubic centimeter, because we are using here centimeter to measure the length. Okay, so it will be 18 cubic centimeter. The same way we have here in this example, we have 2 as width, 2 as length, and 6 as width, and 1 as height. So all you have to do, you have to multiply them together to get the volume. So we have 2, let's write the formula first: length by width by height. Length equal 2 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 1, so it will be 12 cubic inch. Okay guys, this about our lesson today. I will listen now to your questions. If you want anything, if you have any problem, just type it in your chatting room. Thank you guys.